Gabriella. I'm the host of On the House, the Household Management Science Insights podcast. So one of the benefits of doing the podcast is I get to talk to experts who give me some suggestions for how to improve my own life. And I get to learn about their own practices that they use in their own lives as well. So I thought it'd be interesting to attempt some of the practices that they've suggested. And I would do that over a month to try and really cement those habits in. So the one I thought that I would do is the one suggested by Jessica Harrison. So what we did in our podcast was we looked at the ecological footprint and to see how much, how many planets it would take for us. So I thought it'd be interesting to try and implement some things to try and reduce my footprint. So I picked about four things to try to do to reduce my footprint. So number one was to use less water, and I would do this specifically by showering for 2 minutes or less, using a bucket underneath to catch all the water, and then using that to do things like flush the toilet, because my products are not grey water safe, so I can't use them on anything else. So that's part one. So part two is eating less meat and dairy. So that will reduce my waste as well. So number three is to have less packaging. Try to eat more fresh fruit and veggies, and try to bring reusable jars and things. And then part four is to try and travel less by car, more public transport, more biking, more walking. The reason that we are doing this is just to try to see what we can change. So some of the benefits for this, obviously we are facing some really big issues in our climate at the moment, and even one small thing can help, but also things like reducing our bills, and trying to be better for our own health as well, so that's what I'm going to try, and we'll see how I go. So follow me as I try and do these things. You might notice it's a little bit later here, and that's because I woke up this morning and I actually forgot to do this, and I was like, do I wait until tomorrow to start? But then I decided, no, I'd rather just start and just let you guys know what happened. So I woke up in the morning, went about my normal business, brushed my teeth, and had a shower, and I just forgot to time myself. I forgot to save my water, and I was like, I'll have to start again tomorrow. And then I decided, no, I'm going to keep going, because this is what happens. This is a habit that I've got to build, so I've got to keep trying and keep trying. But I did do some other things to afterwards when I remembered that I was doing this. I made dinner, which was vegetarian. It did have feta cheese in it, so it wasn't vegan. Slowly gonna try and swap out some other alternatives like milk and things. I don't want to waste what I've already got by not using it, so I'm gonna keep doing that. And then as I run out of what I've got, I won't buy those. So if I've got some salami, I will eat that, and then I won't buy any more. If I've got milk, I'll drink that, and then I'll buy soy milk. And yeah, so we'll see how we go. So a recap for day 2 and 3. So I once again forgot to catch the water from my shower on day 2. So gotta work on that. And I didn't leave the house, so there was no public transport costs, environmental impacts. I made dinner using no meat and no dairy. Usually with this type of meal I would probably do an egg, either fried or poached, but this time I decided to fry some butter beans with it, and that was really good actually. And then my only rubbish was a paper bag that we used for the bread, and I used the last bit of bread, so no wastage here. Also a tin which I recycled, and then I composted the rubbish, which was gross. For day 3, I did finally remember to shower with a bucket. Unfortunately, because I was washing my hair, it was about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes rather than 2 minutes. But I think that, it's definitely shorter than what I usually do, and maybe if I don't wash my hair, because I only wash my hair every 2 to 3 days. So I think maybe days where I don't, it'll be shorter. So I took the tram to work and back, I also went out this evening, day 3 evening, and I also took the tram then. So that was fine. Comes with all the fun things of overcrowding, standing up, almost falling over, trams do, but I hate driving more, so that's fine. I brought my lunch to work, so that was in a plastic box that I reuse, and I brought my own cutlery, so there was no rubbish there and no wastage from dinner the night before. But then I did go out for coffee with my partner and used my plastic reusable cup, and but did buy a donut with a plastic bag, well, not plastic, paper. So better than plastic, but yeah, still not great. I did also go out for dinner with some friends. Unfortunately, the place we went to didn't have many vegetarian options, and I didn't think they had any vegan options. So I ended up having an omelette with rice and vegetables. Not what I would usually order from this restaurant. Usually I would get probably noodles and meat. Bit disappointing, I think, because I would much have preferred roast pork or something. And then I took the train home. So day 4 started out pretty good. I made a smoothie for breakfast. So I usually have, for breakfast, I either have cereal or a smoothie. Sometimes I have toast, and they generally all have dairy. So I'm just going to finish up what I've got, and then when I've done that, I'll move on to the non-dairy alternatives. For lunch, I also was trying to use what I've got. I made a sandwich. Now I had cheese and I had meat in there, trying to use all of that up. But something that I was thinking as I was making this was everything comes in packaging. Like the deli meat I got came wrapped in plastic or paper, the cheese came wrapped in plastic, the cucumber came wrapped in plastic, and the bread came wrapped in plastic. So I have to throw all of that out. So I'm gonna have to start thinking of buying maybe cucumbers without plastic. I already buy most of my vegetables without plastic, but cucumber is one of the ones that does come with plastic. Buying bread maybe in paper rather than plastic. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. I did remember to save my shower water again. Yes, and I had a shower that was under 2 minutes, so that's a win for me. I also remembered that I can make tea with tea leaves, not with a tea bag, so I decided to make tea with tea leaves. So we'll see how that goes. Now, in the evening, I actually ended up going out for dinner with Aaron and some friends, and we were actually running late, so we ordered over the phone with our friends, and I kind of panicked, and I didn't know what to pick, so I picked chicken dumplings. So, whoops. Yeah, I should have picked the vegetarian option, but I just wasn't feeling really happy about that one, so I didn't. But I did take the train that day, so I took the train in and out of the city. I didn't drive. Okay, and then day 5 is where we kind of started going downhill. So I forgot to shower under 2 minutes, and I forgot to use the bucket. I ended up having to drive to work, just because driving is the easiest way for me to get to work on a Friday, because in the evening I have to pick up my partner from his parents, and if I don't, then his parents have to pick me up, go to their house, and then go home. So it just makes more sense to me, at least, to drive on that day. Unfortunately, I got stuck in traffic and I ended up spending forever in the car. However, I think that, one day a week driving for me is okay. The car is there for emergencies and to get me to work once a week, basically. Okay, so recap for day 6 and day 7. Now, day 6 was the weekend, and I actually worked all day. So I woke up very early and went to work all day. So I actually didn't bother to save the water or time myself, just because it was, 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not what I'm thinking about, 6 o'clock in the morning. So that was a bit of a fail, but I did take the train to work. I always take the train to work on that day because I hate driving. And then I did bring my lunch. So that was just leftovers. That was vegetarian. Then when I came home, I was too tired, my partner and I didn't want to cook. Again, we were ordering over the phone, and I hadn't decided what to have, and I just kind of picked a meat dish last minute. So I had chicken noodles. Yeah, not great on that part, plus it came in plastic packaging. Maybe I should find a place that has reusable packaging. or just cook my own food, be prepared. Not a great day. So day 7, also the weekend, we woke up early to watch the football and I just forgot again to save the shower water. It's also kind of such a pain. It's not something that comes to me naturally. I'm going to try again. So I had the takeaway for lunch again and I actually threw the boxes out because they're really greasy and I didn't want to use them. So again, a fail. But I did take the train again. And then dinner was just some stir-fried veggies. So pretty simple. And yeah, no meat. And I also bought some soy milk, so I'm going to start drinking that. Okay, so week 2. So I've decided that the bath, keeping my bath or shower water is not working. It's not something I'm going to do in my normal everyday practice, even if I keep everything else. It's such a hassle to have to stand over a bucket while I shower it, collect it, and then use it for the toilet. Ugh, just too much work. I'll still keep time on my showers. I'll keep it in mind if we have a drought, but at the moment not really an issue. As far as the other practices, going pretty well. Trying to minimize my packaging, that's kind of working, kind of not. I'm gonna have to keep working on that one a little bit more this week. I've changed my milk to soy milk instead of dairy milk. And as far as meals, I'm finding it's pretty easy to cook at home and not have any meat. As far as dairy, it's a bit harder. I found a few substitutions. For eating out though, as I've been eating with people, they just tend to order stuff, hasn't been so successful. Finding it's not making that much of an impact, which is good, I guess, that's the idea. And taking the train is fine for me so far. But have driven a little bit because it just wasn't realistic for me not to drive.